Seriously, you need to stay away from this kind of person. Could it be that if someone is manipulating you, they're trying to control how you act and take away your ability to think for yourself? Are you sure you want to stay around this kind of person? Do you realize how this tactic could affect not only your relationship with them, but also your relationships with others and your mental health? But first, what exactly is manipulation? Manipulation means pressuring others, sometimes in sneaky ways, to get what you want. The person doing the manipulating, called the manipulator, seeks to be in control. It's all about controlling the game. They're pros at reading emotions, like they're some kind of mind-reading wizard. But instead of using that power for good, they use it to exploit your weaknesses. The end goal of manipulative behavior, to gain personal or professional power. But don't worry, you can learn to spot these tricky moves and block them like a pro. And how to block them? You'll have to wait as the signs unfold, and I will show what to do. The first trick, they get too close too fast. Emotional manipulators may skip a few steps in the traditional get-to-know-you phase. They share their darkest secrets and vulnerabilities. What they're really doing, however, is trying to make you feel special so that you divulge your secrets. They can use these sensitivities against you later. They might say things like,
I feel like we're just connecting on a really deep level. I've never had this happen before. I've never had someone share their vision with me like you have. We're really meant to be in this together.
In Sign 5, we'll uncover how these manipulators take it to the next level. Second, they let you speak first. This is a popular tactic with some business relationships, but it can happen in personal ones too, such as,
Well, you're just going to have to explain to me why you're mad at me again.
when one person wants to establish control, they may ask probing questions so that you share your thoughts and concerns early. With their hidden agenda in mind, they can then use your answers to manipulate your decisions. Third, they twist the facts. Emotional manipulators often twist the truth to confuse you. They might make themselves look more vulnerable by exaggerating events or downplay their part in a conflict to get your sympathy. Like, for example, your manipulator friend offered to help you with team project, but he ended up doing minimal work, and the information they provided is inaccurate and not relevant. When you confront him about it, his response is like,
I spent hours researching for this project to make sure we did well, and now you're upset with me? I was just trying to make sure we got a good grade, but if you're going to be this way, maybe I shouldn't have helped at all.
This response shifts the blame onto you, making it seem like they were just trying to help, even though they didn't do their part well. Fourth, they engage in intellectual bullying. If someone floods you with complicated terms, statistics, or facts when you ask a question, they might be trying to manipulate you. Some people act like experts to push their knowledge on you, especially in financial or sales situations. They might say something like,
You're new to this, so I wouldn't expect you to understand.
I know these are a lot of numbers for you, so I'll go through this again slowly.
They use complex data and jargon to overwhelm you, establish themselves as the expert, and dismiss your concerns, making it difficult for you to question or challenge their claims. Are you familiar with these 4 behaviors? If not, what about this one? Fifth, they engage in bureaucratic bullying. Also, in the business setting, emotional manipulators may try to weigh you down with paperwork, red tape, procedures, or anything that can get in your way. This is a particular possibility if you ask questions that draw their flaws or weaknesses into question.
This will be way too difficult for you. I would just stop now and save yourself the effort.
Sixth, they make you feel sorry for voicing concerns. If you ask questions or make a suggestion, an emotional manipulator will likely respond in an aggressive manner or try to draw you into an argument. This strategy allows them to control your choices and influence your decisions. They may also use the situation to make you feel guilty for expressing your concerns in the first place. For example,
I don't understand why you don't just trust me.
You know I'm just an anxious person. I can't help it. I want to know where you are at all times.
it seems innocent, but as you'll see in sign 12, this behavior isn't as innocent as it seems. 7th, they act like a martyr. Someone who manipulates people's emotions may eagerly agree to help with something, but then turn around and drag their feet, or look for ways to avoid their agreement. They may act like it's ended up being a huge burden, and they'll seek to exploit your emotions in order to get out of it.
I know you need this from me. This is just a lot, and I'm already overwhelmed. This is harder than it looks. I don't think you knew that when you asked me.
But number 8 is even more cruel. They're always just joking when they say something rude or mean. For example, if they meet someone with a larger body, they might joke like,
Wow, you're looking so cozy. Did you gain weight, or are those just really comfy clothes?
but you know why they do that. It is because manipulators use humor to hide criticism so they don't get in trouble. They do this to control others, test how much they can get away with, and make people doubt themselves. Similarly with 9th, because they also don't take accountability of themselves. Emotional manipulators will never accept responsibility for their errors. Instead, they will try to find a way to make you feel guilty for everything, from a missed deadline to a failed project. You may end up apologizing even if they're the one at fault. Let's say your manipulative colleague makes a mistake. They might say something like,
Well, I only did it because I was trying to help the team.
these are the first 9 manipulation signs, but the upcoming 6 are even more fucked up. 10th, they give you the silent treatment. They don't respond to your calls, emails, direct messages, or any other form of communication, or even ghosting like a ghost. They use the silence to gain control and make you feel responsible for their behavior. They say or do something and later deny it. For example, because manipulators use silence and ignoring to control you, shift blame, and avoid responsibility. This makes you question yourself and wonder if you did something wrong or if you should apologize, even when you know it's not your fault. You might think, why is he so mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Should I apologize? But I know it's not my fault. Do I really deserve this? 11th, they're always criticizing you. Emotional manipulators might put you down without pretending to joke or be sarcastic. Their goal is to hurt your self-esteem. If you're excitedly sharing your recent success, a manipulative person might say,
Wow, you're always bragging about your achievements. It's like you think you're better than everyone else.
This kind of comment is meant to undermine your self-esteem and make you feel small, often reflecting the manipulator's own insecurities. 12th, they use your insecurities against you. When they know your weak spots, they can use them to wound you. They may make comments and take actions that are meant to leave you feeling vulnerable and upset. Like,
You said you'd never want your kids to grow up in a broken home. Look what you're doing to them now.
This is a tough audience. I would be nervous if I was you.
this way, they create a spot to hit you and they can easily manipulate you to get what they want. You need to weaponize yourself, and this also counts for number 13th. They use your feelings against you. If you're upset, someone who is manipulating you may try to make you feel guilty for your feelings. They may accuse you of being unreasonable or not being adequately invested. They will say something like,
If you really loved me, you'd never question me.
I couldn't take that job. I wouldn't want to be away from my kids so much.
This can make you insecure and scared to take action. This is the time to subscribe so you will not be a victim of a manipulator. Be aware of number 14th. They're always too calm, especially in times of crisis. Imagine you're in a heated meeting where everyone is discussing a critical issue. As the tension rises, you express your frustration and concern. Meanwhile, the manipulative person remains unusually calm and collected. Later, they might say,
You saw how everyone else stayed calm. You were the only one who got so upset.
or they might add,
I didn't want to say anything, but you seemed a bit out of control.
Their calmness is used to make you doubt your own emotional response and feel like you're overreacting and making you question if your feelings are justified. And the last, they use guilt trips or ultimatums. Oh, this is what I hate the most. When I'm in a relationship and my ex keeps bringing up old issues, she makes dramatic statements just to make me feel bad and targets my emotional weaknesses to try to get an apology from me. My ex once said,
I bought you that laptop for your birthday and even that fancy dinner last week. And now you can't do this one thing for me? It feels like nothing I do is ever good enough for you.
well, I think that's why people said X for a reason. If this sounds familiar, please know you're not alone. It's okay to feel hurt, frustrated, or even angry. Once I was in the same situation as you, and my mental health is getting bad with them. But what's important is recognizing these behaviors for what they are: manipulation. It's not your fault, and you don't have to tolerate it. It may take time to realize someone is emotionally manipulating you. The signs are subtle, and they often evolve over time. But if you think you're being treated in this way, trust your instincts. Apologize for your part, then move on. You're probably not going to get an apology, but don't let that bother you. Take responsibility for what you know you did and ignore the other accusations. Don't try to beat them. Two people shouldn't play this game. They use these tactics to control and exploit you, manipulate your feelings, and gain power over you. Instead, learn to recognize the strategies so you don't fall for their trap. Set boundaries. When a manipulative person realizes they're losing control, their tactics may grow more desperate. This is the time for you to make some difficult decisions. Sometimes the most powerful move is to do nothing. Manipulators thrive on your reactions. What if you simply refuse to play their game? Silence can be your greatest weapon. It leaves them with nothing to twist, nothing to exploit. So, if you've ever felt this way, give yourself permission to take action. Trust your feelings, set boundaries, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. You deserve to be in relationships that uplift and support you, not tear you down. Guys, no one deserves to have another individual treat them in this manner. Emotional manipulation may not leave physical scars, but it can still have a long-lasting effect. You can heal from this, and you can grow from it too. Now here's the real question. What would happen if you stopped letting their actions define your next move? Ever felt manipulated? And if you've got negative people around you, watch this video. But remember, sometimes the most unexpected response is no response at all.